Hello, everyone. Welcome to our podcast, Yeti.
Walks into base camp.
I am Yeti Legs.
And I'm base camp.
And we are the hosts and producers and editors and basically everything for your podcast. If this is the first time that you are listening to the show, welcome.
Welcome.
We're a married couple. We have thru-hiked, love thru-hiking, want to keep doing it. And we just like talking about it and telling other people, you know, our experiences, what we love to do, and some of our favorite gear and other things like that.
I'm also going to say, you said we produce and edit it. And I will always continually say this. I got to give you credit. You produce and edit this. And I just show up and talk.
Well, thank you. Thank you. I receive all the credit.
Yeah. So let's give credit where credit is due.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, we're really excited about this episode. It's just such a wonderful episode. I think it's going to be great. And so we have with us, it is the COO of FarOut.
And General Counsel.
And General Counsel.
Her name is Alice Bodnar. And she's been with FarOut here for a while and kind of since its inception to some degree.
Close to its inception.
Yeah. Alice, thank you for being on the show. And I know the first part of our question set here has to do with like who you are, but would you mind just telling us a little bit about like who you are, where you're from, and who Alice is?
Okay, great. Yeah, sure. So I'm Alice Bodnar. You already mentioned I'm the COO and General Counsel for FarOut. So there's my titles. But yeah, I'm coming to you from right now from Bentonville, Arkansas, which is actually where I grew up. And I just turned 50 this year. And I left when I was 18. So just kind of making a big full circle and just got back to Bentonville, Arkansas. Just came from Denver.
Okay.
And
isn't that how every good movie ends? It ends full circle.
I guess. I mean, every Hallmark movie has that element for sure.
Wow! Congratulations, the big 50. Are you doing anything to celebrate?
Or did you?
I actually kept it pretty low key. I'm not a big birthday person, but my husband Paul was a really good sport, and just like whatever I wanted to do that week, he's like, sure, let's just do it.
I love that you do a birthday week as well, because birthdays mean a lot to base camp here. I didn't grow up with them being a huge deal, but like we have to go. We don't have to, but we do go all out on birthdays now. So yeah. Treat yourself.
It's been a funny in our marriage learning that part of each other, because he didn't grow up with celebrating birthdays like hardly at all. I mean, barely even a birthday card, I would say. But my mother was just like, birthdays, like birthday month, like, you know, and she'd do these epic, extravagant birthday parties. And so when we got married, I was like, you know, waiting for my birthday the first year, and like he didn't have anything planned, and I thought he was going to surprise me. It's just so funny, you know, like this whole thing. And then for his birthday, I was like, well, what do you want to do? You want to go to Iceland? Let's go to Iceland. I'm going to cook you a meatloaf in Iceland.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, stuff like that for sure.
Yeah, but it's been fun.
So working at FarOut is actually the longest job I've ever had. I tend to jump careers. I started out as a chemist, and I went to graduate school, which is where I met Paul, who is our co-founder, and my spouse. He's a co-founder of FarOut with Ryan Lynn. And so we met there in 1994, and we were both chemists. We worked at Pharmacia and Upjohn in Kalamazoo, Michigan, which became Pfizer. Then I ended up going to law school in Berkeley in 2005. So that was my first career switch. And I worked in law until 2012. And Paul was kind of doing the entrepreneur thing. And he had hiked the PCT in 1997. So he's kind of one of the OGs. And then he hiked it again in 2010 while I was working. And then I just really couldn't take law anymore. And I left. It was a pretty cool job, actually. I got to work on some really neat things in renewable energy, but it was very stressful and just kind of not me. And so I quit, and we hiked the PCT together in 2012. So that's kind of how I got into the hiking world.
I love that.
That's amazing. Wait, you've lived like 3 different lives, I feel like.
Yeah, pretty much.
Well, that kind of transitions us to the first question here. But before I ask it, we really need to set the tone and establish what we're drinking.
Oh, yes.
The drink of the
drink of the
choice.
choice.
Which everyone always like tries to correct that and says the drink of your choice or the drink of choice or something. But no, it's properly the drink of the choice.
Because
that is what Basecamp coined it.
I like it.
Thank you.
So guess first, Alice, what are you drinking?
Well, I'll lift it up here. I am drinking an Athletic Upside Dawn, which is a delicious non-alcoholic beer.
Nice.
So,
where is it made?
I believe it's made in New Hampshire.
Oh, okay.
Either New Hampshire or Delaware.
Nice.
Okay.
But have you heard of Athletic?
No, never. Wait, I think, do they make wine as well?
No, they don't.
Okay, I'm thinking of Fit Vine then, because they make like low calorie, low carb wine, which doesn't taste that great. So don't try it.
From what I've heard, there's no such thing as a tasty non-alcoholic wine, but you would be amazed at how many good non-alcoholic beers there are out there. It's like this totally booming field. And I mean, I may have mentioned I turned 50, and so, you need to slow down on your drinking a little bit, but you like beer. It's a good go-to.
That's awesome.
With a background in chemistry, how do you think they remove the alcohol from the beer? Because it's kind of a delicate beverage,
I know. Yeah. So I heard you're a chemist as well.
Long time ago.
Yeah. Well, Athletic, I've kind of read up about them. They keep it, it's a trade secret, but basically there's two ways you can do it. You can either make regular beer and then distill off the ethanol, which I think is like what Heineken does. So if you see something that's 0% beer, they distill it off.
Yeah.
This Athletic, it's like 0.5% or less alcohol. And so I think they just tweak their recipe so that it tastes like beer, but it doesn't produce the alcohol.
Okay. So they must have a unique yeast strain that they use for this. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. They have some secret process.
Yeah. I've always felt like if you were to try and titrate off the alcohol for beer, it would ruin it because you have to heat up the beer.
Exactly.
So
yeah. Or put it under extreme vacuum.
Yeah. So I was curious how you received that.
Well, you guys are in Colorado. You should check out if you ever see Groovy.
Okay.
It's GRUVI. It's a Denver-based beer company, and they make a really good beer.
Really? Okay.
Have to check them out. We love like Prost in Denver.
Yeah.
That's one of our go-tos. Yeah.
Yeah. The only NA beer I've ever had was O'Doul's. And I'll be honest, it didn't taste bad. But
yeah,
I'm sure that there are better.
It's gotten a lot better since then.
Okay.
All right. That's good to know.
I'll take your word on it. I'll try some out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Well,
you wanna say what you're drinking?
Me next. Okay. I need the can, but I'm super excited about this beer. We found it a couple days ago. It's a strawberry blonde, and it's by which brewery?
Crooked Stave in Colorado.
Crooked Stave. Where are they located?
I want to say down on the Front Range somewhere.
But anyway, It literally smells like strawberry jam.
It does.
But it's not sweet, and it still has like a little strawberry flavor, but has that nice, refreshing, like summer beer vibe to it. So I love this beer already. I think it's going to be my go-to beer for the summer.
It's a good dry beer.
Yeah.
Yeah, it finishes dry.
Yeah, it's not a sour, but it's great.
Yeah, and I'm that guy who drinks imperial stouts in the heat of summer. So that's just me. I'm actually drinking an Avery beer. And if you don't know Avery, they're out of Boulder, Colorado, and their symbol or their logo is a big A. And I wanted to say that because this beer is named Latte on My Mind. But if you couple it with the big A for Avery, it says A Latte on My Mind, which is super clever.
Very creative.
It's just an espresso stout. And yeah, it's already peaking here in like the 60s for the highs, but it's still stout season. So
in Wesley's mind,
in my world, yeah,
heck yeah, why not?
I think it would be great to try an NA stout, like as my NA beer intro. Yeah,
I mean, Athletics have a decent stout.
Okay,
do they? Yeah. Whoa. Yeah. Okay.
Keep selling it, Alice. Keep selling it.
I'm not paid by Athletic. I'm just paid.
This is good to know, though.
Yes, and we will also preface that we are not paid or sponsored by FarOut, but we just love to use the app.
It's been very helpful.
And that's why we wanted to have someone from their team on today. So yeah.
Well, should we get into the questions?
Yeah, let's get into the Q set here.
Yeah.
All right, Alice. This first question is a 3-parter. So I'll take it
Brace
incrementally, step by
yourself.
step. You started off in law, which is just it's mind-boggling to me. But you dropped it to hike the PCT in 2012, where you began developing Guthook, is what it said on the FarOut website. And after that, you never went back to law. What exactly did you do in law? And you said you didn't love it. Why didn't you love it?
Well, I don't know if I would say I didn't love it, but it was very it's being in law is very stressful. I worked for one of the big New York law firms that had an office in Los Angeles, and that's where I worked. And but the area I worked in was really cool. It's called renewable energy project finance. So one of the more famous projects that I worked on is the Alta project, which is that huge windmill project out in Mojave along the
No
PCT.
way.
Tehachapi,
That's
Yeah,
okay.
so
yeah,
cool.
yeah. So that was I worked on two deals with that. So the first phase, and then I think the second and third phase of it, and it's since gone on to have more phases, and it's enormous. And yeah, so I just kind of got to see how one of those projects is put together. When you're a lawyer, you obviously have a client, and so our client was the project developer, the one who actually builds the project. And then on the other side are the people who are the finance the project, like who represent the banks. So I think we got to represent the more kind of fun side, so like the turbine contracts, the transmission contracts, all that stuff. But after a while it's just like, even on Christmas, I didn't know if I was going to work. I would say
Oh,
bye to Paul in the morning, and I had no idea when I was going to come home. And sometimes I
Gosh.
would have to stay overnight. So it wasn't a good long term career for me,
I
but it was an
understand.
awesome experience.
Got you. Okay,
Wow.
okay. Sorry I misspoke there. Um, did you ever consider working for maybe a nonprofit, like, I don't know, some of these local nonprofits focusing on conservation of nature, or you could even go and possibly work for the Nature Conservancy or the National Audubon Society. Did you ever consider any of those?
I did consider that. Actually, when I was in law school, I did an internship with the Sierra Club, and they were doing really neat work at
Oh,
that
okay.
time, basically shutting down coal plants.
Yeah.
Okay.
And so they were instrumental in, I would say, shutting down coal plants, but in just using litigation. It's called impact litigation
Okay.
to just to carefully and slowly bring reality into line with law.
Okay.
Mm.
And I just found I don't really like litigation. I am just not the adversarial type, which means I probably shouldn't have gone to law school because I don't like fighting.
Yeah.
So that's why I ended up in project finance, because it's not litigation at all. And not all, like those organizations you mentioned, they don't all do impact litigation. But once I got off the PCT, I didn't know what I was going to do, and I just end up. I thought I was going to go back to law, but now I'm just like the general counsel for
Gotcha.
FarOut.
Okay, okay.
That's so cool.
Wow, so you were with the Sierra Club before the whole John Muir controversy came out. And I mean, really, it's not a controversy. Like, it's historical fact, right?
You mean that he was
Pro
that
slavery.
he was
Is that what it was?
okay? Oh, I thought you meant that he cut down timber. So
Oh,
Oh,
no,
didn't
no,
know
no.
about that one.
Yeah, there was some controversy with John Muir and they're kind of like renaming things.
Yeah, they said something about how he's pro-slavery
Yeah, I believe that's
or
what it was. But
something. Yeah, I don't have enough information on it, so I probably really can't talk into it. I mean,
yeah, I don't really know either. Yeah, so law wasn't your thing, so you started to develop Guthook whenever you were hacking the PCT. Did the PCT like change your outlook on life and spur any life changes, or were those already kind of being implemented, which is why you hiked the PCT in the first place?
it did. Yeah, I grew up on a farm, so I've always been comfortable with the outdoors. The summers my brother and I would just run around wild in the woods. But I had kind of gotten away from that, and hiking the PCT was really good for me. And that I realized, you just anything you need, you just carry on your back. And since then, I wouldn't say I'm a materialistic, but I just don't want things. So
Yep.
it did change me in that way, which I
Okay.
think it probably does to 99% of people who like the PCT.
Yeah.
absolutely, yeah, definitely changed
Yeah,
us in that too. We got
or the
home,
AT
yeah, yeah, or CDT, yeah,
or
it's
whatever.
yeah.
Yeah.
We got home and we're like, we have way too much stuff, and we had sold everything and given up everything, and we
Yeah,
still had like a little bit left, like
Yeah.
that we were storing somewhere. And we got home and we're like, oh
Right.
my gosh, we still have too much.
Yeah. But we also came home to a very different
World.
economy.
Yeah.
And so that's kind of
When did
limited.
you do it?
We did it in 22.
22.
Yeah.
And
Oh,
we
okay.
sold
Right.
our cars. We had nowhere to live.
We sold our cars for a huge profit, like $6,000 for 2 cars. And when we came
That's
back,
nice.
we were hit hard.
Yeah, I was like, I kind of wish we kept our cars. That was one big thing now looking back, at least one car, because we just, I mean, the inflation just killed the car market when we got back. And we were like, whoa, we were not expecting this.
Yeah.
But
Yeah. We weren't expecting new cars to start between 30 to 40,000 for a base model.
Yeah, I
which
was
is
like,
what we came back to.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah,
no.
that's tough.
Yeah.
But,
And there's one other question to my question one. I know this was a 3-part. I feel like I'm monopolizing right now.
no, it's okay. I mean, I was about to ask the next question just in case to switch it up, but
So you've done the PCT. Have you done any other trails? Any other long trails? And we consider that 100 plus miles.
Okay. So I did the JMT in 2003, I think. That was kind of my
Okay.
introduction to hiking. And I've done the Cotswold Way in England.
Oh, we want to.
no, I've done some
which
of
is
it. Yeah. Sorry, go ahead.
That's beautiful. And Hadrian's Wall is actually less than 100 miles, but I count that as a through hike too.
Yeah.
And the Tahoe Rim Trail, which is gorgeous.
Oh, the
Nice.
TRT on the bucket list. Do you
Yeah.
do you ever want to do you've done some European hikes? Do you ever want to do the Camino, or what about the West Highland Way, which is kind of a bougie hike?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I do not like walking while I'm wet, so I probably won't do the West Highland Way.
Fair.
But I would like to do one of the Caminos. I've heard the
Oh,
Portuguese is getting really popular.
yeah.
Yeah. What about the Tour de Mont Blanc? Have you ever wanted to do that one?
That one sounds interesting too, which I think that one's about 100 miles.
Yeah, it's like just over, I think about 105. We clocked 111, but we also like did some spurs into town and stuff
Yeah.
too.
Oh, how was that? Was that fun?
Oh, magical.
Best trail, I think. I mean,
We did it out of season, so
yeah.
the refuges weren't open.
Yeah, and we just tent camped, and honestly, no one was on the trail. We did it at the end of October, beginning of November, which everybody was like, "Don't do it," fear mongered us. We were like, "We just did the PCT, and we're
You'll be
fine."
fine.
Yeah, we're
we'll
gonna
be
be fine. And honestly, it was one of the most magical. I feel like I was just uprooted into Lord of the Rings or something, and we just took our time. We enjoyed it. We would get cheese and sausage and bread and a whole like 2 bottles of wine and take it out there. And because you're so close within town, so you can
Yeah.
just take all this luxury food with you. So
Yeah,
it
it
was
was great,
magical.
honestly.
How cold did it get at night?
I mean, I don't even know that it got below freezing at night.
Mm-mm.
And we were, like she said, we were doing it in the fall, which was the perfect season because just when we finished, the rain started to flow, and that was quote unquote the rainy season. And honestly, it was probably about to start getting below freezing at night, so that rain was going to start freezing and slicking up the trail a bit.
Yeah, they did say that they had a delayed winter that year, so that like we just kind of jumped on it. We just literally used all our flight points and went. We were like, let's just go.
Nice.
Yep.
That sounds amazing.
Everyone listening to this podcast should know that if you want to purchase any map on FarOut, by the time this episode is released, you will have until August 31st to use a 10% discount code specific to just this podcast. The code is YETI10, so YETI10, to get 10% off your entire purchase at farout.com. And that cannot be used on the mobile app. It needs to be online through the FarOut website. So just be sure about that, because I know most of us use it really strictly on mobile. So just go online and purchase it, and then it will be accessible through your mobile app. So, yep, August 31st is the last day to use that.
You were so good at those. I've always said
It's
that, like,
scary.
he doesn't do a script or anything with these things. Like, he just goes into them, and I'm like, wow, how did you do that? I'd be like stumbling in my head. But
the trick is that I stare at nothing. I stare into darkness whenever I do.
oh my gosh.
So, yeah.
All right. Well, next question. And I'm very intrigued by this because he said this, that you guys started developing the Guthook while you were doing the PCT. But can you talk more about that the Guthook and its development? Were you guys working with a team of developers to create it, or how did that whole process start?
Sure. Yeah, this is the ultimate bootstrapped company, and that we've never taken a penny of investment. It's just all self financed. And I mentioned earlier that Paul hiked who's known as Tangent, that's his trail name, was hiking the PCT in 2010. It was a 40th birthday gift to himself from me saying, hey, go do it. And he met Ryan Lynn, whose trail name is Guthook, in California. And then they met up later and they ended up walking most of, I think, all of Washington together. And they were just bouncing around this
Okay.
idea of like, hey, it's 2010, like the iPhone was brand new.
Yeah.
And Paul had the version that had a GPS chip in it. And he actually had a book called the Pocket PCT, and which was an elevation profile of the PCT. So he was updating that book as he was walking. And Paul and Ryan just got to talking, saying, hey, we could put this in an app. And that's what they did. And by 2012, it was released for iPhone. And
Wow.
I think in April, we released it in February or March 2012 for the Southern California section. And as people were walking, they kept releasing, going up the
Okay.
trail. It was originally 5 apps. And yeah, so that was the beginning of it.
Now,
And Paul, as we walked, was gathering the data.
Wow. So wait, he was collecting elevation and GPS data on the iPhone as he was walking it.
Right, in 2012. He
Wow.
also just using, like a Garmin GPS.
Okay, okay,
yeah.
okay. Because I didn't know
Yeah.
that you could do that with an iPhone. I mean, maybe you can
Not back
now.
then. You can now, but back then, yeah, he was using a Garmin.
A
Okay,
Garmin,
okay.
okay. That's so is Paul is your husband, like, in that world where he can design an app, or was it more just, "Let's figure out how to make this happen"? He was an entrepreneur and just was like, "We're gonna make this happen."
Yeah, so when I was in law school, we decided, I would do the sure thing, and he kind of had always wanted to be an entrepreneur, so he tried a few other things, and it's like, one of these days, one of your ideas is going to hit. And I just came home from law school one day, and he was working on this book, this Pocket PCT book, because he was very passionate about hiking, and that's that, and then he rehiked it. So, I mean, between Ryan, Paul, and I, we have absolutely no background in computers or app design.
That's amazing. But you
Wow.
bring in people who do. Is that what happened?
No, we did it all ourselves.
God.
You
So,
created the app yourself, so you just figured it out?
yeah, so Paul figured out the data piece. Ryan, who was a history major, taught himself to develop for the iPhone, and I wrote the Android app.
Get out of here.
What? This
What
is
a
why I'm like, my mind is blown. It just also shows me you can do anything you set your mind to. Like, you
Yeah,
guys are just
yeah.
yeah.
inspiration.
It shows me that you
I
are
mean,
way smarter than I am. So-
no, 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 no. I mean, when we look back on it now, it's like, that was ridiculous what we did. We had no idea how much money we were making, how many downloads. We don't know anything. I just remember like sitting, I didn't even have an office chair. I sat in a wooden chair for like 3 years and just programmed, just
yeah.
trying to make it better, better, better.
Wow.
And I don't know, people kept asking for more trails. So we kept adding
Yeah.
more trails.
Here's a question related to that. Have you seen map sales increase since the pandemic?
Yeah. So like, it probably goes without saying, our biggest sellers are the Triple Crown.
Yeah.
For
We
sure.
Most of our market is US. So, and the Triple Crown, they were shut down. However, right now we have over 250 guides around the world, and at that time we had less than 200. But hiking just became very popular. Like, it just blew up on the Colorado Trail.
Yeah.
So our business absolutely plummeted at the beginning of
Okay.
the
Okay.
pandemic, but then it
Really?
picked up, and so we've done okay, because it was an escape for people to go out and hike during that time.
Yeah. If you look at the national park attendance, the numbers kind of do the same thing that you just suggested. They plummet and then they skyrocket. And they're
Yeah,
continuing to climb even now after the pandemic is like quote unquote over. Will it really ever be over? We don't know. It's more endemic at this point. But yeah,
Right.
it's crazy you say that. Okay.
Wait, so do you guys
Yeah, we actually.
Oh, sorry, go ahead.
No, you go ahead.
Well, I was just going to ask, do you guys, all three of you, still do the programming and updating for all of the trails, or now have you added more people into your team?
Yeah, over the years we've had a lot of people come and go, and we have a very nice stable team right now of 5 full-timers in the United States, and then two people in Europe that we work with. So 7 people.
Nice.
And Ryan actually he's still an owner of the company, but he's no longer actively involved in the company. He was with it for he's quite a bit younger than Paul and I, and he kind of wants to try something else. And we have an awesome CTO, Chief Technology Officer Kyle Boisard, who Ryan trained for 3 years.
Wow.
And so
Wow.
Kyle has now taken over the iOS and web piece.
Okay.
And
Wow.
Okay.
I don't do the Android program at all anymore either. We have an awesome guy in Ukraine named Alex who does that. Alex
Okay.
Gavrikov.
So Kyle was Guthook, right?
No, Ryan is Guthook.
Ryan is Guthook. Okay. Okay.
Yeah,
So the app used to be called Guthook, but then it changed to FarOut. Would you mind just
right.
explaining, like briefly, like why it changed names?
Yeah, sure. So at the beginning, it was Ryan was, there's people who they're professional Thru-Hikers, and Ryan was kind of on that path. And so we really wanted to get his name out there, the Guthook Guide. And then it ended up he went more of like, the building this app path. And you have to admit, Guthook is kind of a confusing name. And
Yeah.
and I know a lot of people in our community love the name and were very upset with us when we changed it. But we had this really cool person, Corey Lewis, who reached out to us after her AT through hike, who is a branding specialist. And she said, "Hey, if you're ever thinking about changing your name, hint, hint, I would love to work with you." And so we worked with her. I think we were one of her first clients when she went independent after working for a fancy firm in New York, who guided us through the process of rebranding to FarOut. And I mean, really, we just rebranded. We didn't, there was no ownership change, no personnel change, no change to the code. We literally just rebranded. And the reason I say that is because we're always getting these 1-star reviews of like, I not always get 1-star reviews, but we'll say like, ever since they sold out to FarOut, they really suck. It's like, we just changed our name. That's all we did.
Like
I've seen
y'all need to
that.
calm
I've
down.
seen those
Yeah.
comments too. Yeah,
Yeah.
people get crazy about it. I
I
honestly thought you guys, like, now we say far out. Like we did, we've been in it since it was Guthook, but then when when it changed, I was like, wait, why did they change the name?
Yeah,
But it
yeah.
makes sense why you changed the name, especially because it's like expanding even more so than where you were. And I've seen your app just grow exponentially in the last 2 years. Just all these new trails are being added all over the world, and which is exciting to see.
Yeah.
And so I think it's great what you guys did and how you rebranded.
Seriously, we love
No,
Far
thanks.
Out. We have really only gotten screwed over royally by All Trails.
Well, they're awesome. They're awesome if you just want to go out and do a day hike in your
Yeah.
Mhm.
neighborhood. So
They are.
yeah,
They are.
we view them as an orthogonal product to us.
Yeah. Have you seen one of their recent updates how you can like you can always look at the topo for the map or the route that you're trying to hike, but now they have photos along the way. So you can
Okay.
just look at the trail without actually hiking it, which is a cop out kind of. I don't know. I'm super biased and I'm not afraid to admit it. Yeah, I will say the cool thing about it, and this isn't an all trails episode, but you can like record your own route and people can follow that same route, which is kind of a cool
Well,
process.
that's what happened to us on the Dominguez Trail.
That's what happened. And it also led us astray, and that can also, while cool, be deadly as well.
We ended up canyoneering down the Domingos Canyon because we followed someone's trail on All Trails,
Yeah.
thinking it was a trail. And then we got
Right.
to it and it was like a canyon. And we were like, well, we've got to get down because we're
I was like, oh, here's a slot canyon. We've never done this. Let's figure it
guess
out.
we're going to do it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Next question.
Next question's mine. Okay. I find this intriguing because I work in the creative arts and film, but you have a team of photographers. So what's the purpose behind that? Is my first question. And then there's a tag question to that.
Yeah, so we really believe in supporting the hiking community. And whenever we have photos, so Natalie Dick is our CMO, our Chief Marketing Officer, and she has a really clear vision of what she wants what our look and feel to be. And so she is an Instagram master. She knows all the hikers, and she's just, I think she literally has a photographic memory. So, she'll see somebody who's posting good photos and she'll just reach out to them and say, hey, can we license your photos? And so that's how we get our photos. I think we recently just licensed 40 new photos from 2 different photographers. They may not be on our website yet,
Okay.
but yeah, we
Okay.
just see people that we like and license their photos from them.
Okay, so that's because that was my second question is, are they hiking ambassadors or commissioned professionals? So it sounds like she's just like scouring Instagram and knows these hikers and sees a picture and is like, can we license this and use it for
Right.
FarOut?
Okay.
Yeah. So we'll like license a portfolio rather than just saying, hey, can we license one photo?
Okay.
Okay.
For years we have loved Tommy Corey, who is, oh gosh, I'm blanking. Hiker Trash Vogue. Yes.
Hiker Trash Vogue. I've never heard of this.
Does he do headshots?
Yes, he's amazing. Just try
Okay.
this Google Hiker Trash Vogue, and
Okay.
that's Tommy Corey. And so he was the first person we worked with, and since then we've just worked with quite a few other photographers.
Okay. So then you might see someone that is an actual photographer on the trail and they're just taking photos just to take photos. And it's like, ooh, we would really love a portfolio of your stuff. So we're going to license.
Yeah.
Okay.
They usually are actually professional photographers who are also long through hikers.
Nice. Okay. So you just like build a relationship with them, it sounds like too.
Yes.
And okay. That's
Yeah.
cool.
Okay. Yeah, he's got some really great photos in here.
He just
Hiker
opened up his
Trash Vogue.
Instagram.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, and he's doing some really great projects too of bringing underrepresented voices
Oh,
to
Okay.
the forefront.
Yeah,
very
I
cool.
think a little bit more equity and not only the hiker realm, but also like environmental equity is kind of at the forefront of people's minds here lately. Making things more accessible and more common with different demographics. So that's kind of cool. Let's see. Next question. Question 5.
Ooh.
So I found this whenever I was scouring your website. You have something called a FarOut Scout, and I'm wondering what on earth is a FarOut Scout and what do they do?
So FarOut Scouter is our version of an ambassador program. This year we have 25 FarOut Scouts, and it was an application process this year, and we had a lot of applicants, and it was I mentioned Natalie before, she did 95% of the work, and I just went through with her to like narrow it down, and it was so hard because the people who wrote in to apply were just amazing. And so there are people who are out there just doing a through hike, who are doing something that we have a guide for, and we just ask them to tag us and to share with the world what they're doing, and we also share with the world what they're doing.
Okay. So Natalie is the one responding whenever you message FarOut on Instagram, right?
Yes, yep, that's
Okay.
Natalie.
So I've communicated with Natalie quite a bit then. And I was like, how do I become a scout? And she's like, well, the season's over.
She's like, it's done this year, but next year.
Yeah. I'm like, I'll apply end of December then. How about that?
Yeah. And I think we figured out that you're also asking for the Centennial Trail guide. So she was like writing back and forth with me about that.
Yes,
Oh my
bless.
gosh.
We really, this is like a dream trail for him to do, and just hasn't done it yet. And we were like, we really would love to do it soon. And it's like 110 miles, and we were just shocked that it wasn't on FarOut because it seems to be like picking up momentum and all of those things. But you guys were conversing a lot about it, and then come to find out the trails, that's a whole complicated issue. Who knew that like you have to get permission?
You need to speak with the governing body, and the Forest Service is super complicated to communicate with, even though I'm
Right.
working for them, which is kind of ironic.
Oh, that's
Go
right.
figure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We don't have to. We can do a guide for whatever we like, but it is our preference, our very strong preference to work with an organization.
Okay, okay.
So that,
Gotcha.
if something changes, somebody can write in and tell us right away, hey, we have this reroute here, or this is closed for a fire. So
Oh.
if we
Oh,
just, if we hire someone to go out and on a one-off hike it, then we have no contact if the trail changes.
Got you.
that makes sense though. Yeah.
Okay. So I guess let me go ahead and just ask this question then. Question 7 on the list. So we'll go back
Yeah, I'll pick
6
up
in a
that one
second.
after. Yeah.
So question 7 was map creation and the process. I tried to get the Centennial Trail added to FarOut, and it sounded like you preferred to talk to a governing body so you can have like a direct line of communication. What's the process for adding a map to FarOut, with or without like a governing body? It sounds like you have autonomy in that area.
We do. I mean, so I'm an attorney. I know you can go out and hike a trail, and as long as you're gathering the data yourself, you can publish it. You
Yeah.
can't violate trademark. So, like, we couldn't call ourselves the official guide of the Pacific Crest Trail Association because we're not. But what we can, that was our first trail, was the Pacific Crest Trail, and we collected that data ourselves, and that's how we started out. But since then, our policy is to work with a trail organization if we're going to create a new guide.
Okay. Okay. Do you ever work with individuals who you might trust to go and hike a trail, record the route, elevation, etc., and get the trail published that way?
We used to.
Okay.
So actually, one of our former employees, Don Pratt, did that for us. He was, I would guess you would say he was our first ambassador, and that he recollected the data for us for the PCT, the CDT, and the Te Araroa.
Wow.
I mean, he was a
Oh,
super hiker,
okay.
Yeah, that's
and
amazing.
yeah, and he was an employee for some time. So we used to do that, but now we actually do not have a formal relationship with the PCTA. We're very friendly with them. Same with the ATC. We are official partners with the CDTC, but it's just we work with the organizations.
Okay. Fair
Yeah,
enough. Fair
that
enough.
makes sense though. I mean, totally. I feel like he's fishing because he's like, if you want me to hike the Centennial Trail, I will gather information.
I've got the darn guidebook, but
He
I'm not going to
does.
carry a quarter-pound book out there with me if I can just have it on a phone.
If you can find a Friends of the Centennial Trail, or somebody who writes a guidebook who keeps it updated,
Okay.
that would
Okay.
be a possibility.
Hey, you're giving me some hope
Wait,
here.
Galena writes guidebooks. Listen,
They do, but for Leadville.
well, just for Leadville, but you
Yeah.
never
Well, I should
know.
mention that like for the Oregon Coast Trail, they do not have a governing body. It's just this really mishmash of municipalities of the trail. So we worked with Bonnie Henderson, who wrote the book on the Oregon Coast Trail.
Okay.
So we
Okay.
work with book authors as well.
Okay.
This
Okay.
is my wheels are turning because the Rainbow Trail. Have you heard of the Rainbow Trail?
No,
It's
I'm not familiar with that.
Yeah, it's in
It's in
Colorado.
Colorado. It's 100 miles or 110. We're not exactly sure. It's
But
on All Trails and Hiking Trail Project.
and there's like probably an 85% map on the USFS website.
Yeah, the rest we don't know where it is, but we're section hiking it right now, and it starts in the middle of nowhere. So it's like we hiked in to start it, but it's an old dirt road that looks very, who knows if you can get into it.
Yeah.
And then it goes all the way to it goes through the Sangre de Cristo Mountains, and it ends at the Great Sand Dunes
National Park.
Oh, nice.
Pretty
Yeah.
cool.
That's cool.
Yeah, have
Yeah.
you ever heard of Poncha Springs, Colorado?
Yes.
Really?
That's where it
Not
starts.
Yes.
many people have. Okay, it starts just
Well, yeah,
southwest of Poncha.
she would know Poncha because of the CDT and CT.
That's right. That's right. Okay.
Yeah, it's a CT trail town.
That's right, CT.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Still a small town, but
But
hey, did you have Elevation Brewery whenever you were through there, or did you ever go through?
No, we don't have that in there.
Okay,
Just add
okay.
it.
Oh yeah, it's in Poncha.
oh yeah, it's a good
Okay.
brewery right there.
Right.
Oh, we love that area. Anyway, I guess keep going.
Yeah,
Um,
I'm definitely going to try and become a scout so I can get my way up that ladder of getting the Centennial Trail added.
and the Rainbow Trail. I feel
Yeah,
like you're
yeah.
like the Rainbow Trail. I feel like would be a good one to add. I know there's a bike association that has taken one chunk of it and really made it amazing. And I don't know what bike association is, but there's like a really great mountain biking area on that trail that they've taken and really groomed and made nice and solid. But It's a cool trail.
We publish bikepacking routes as well.
Okay.
Well, there you go. Because I know that a lot of bikers do that trail.
We'll stay in touch with you, Alice. We'll stay in touch.
Okay.
Wesley's obsessed with trails, just so you know. So this is like
Yeah.
he's like nerding out in this conversation.
I just started taking GIS courses, and all my projects have had to do with trails, and I'm sure the professor's getting tired of it, but whatever.
He does like 10-page GIS, or like he does these very detailed, thorough. Anyway, okay, so then quick question about this. We didn't know this, and I guess until you were doing some research, but you have a blog. And is this blog a vehicle for your scouts and ambassadors? And what type of information can viewers find there?
Yeah, so it's a combination of both of those. Our ambassadors do post on there, so they'll do trip reports. We do ask them to do 1 or 2 blog posts a year, but also Paul, who as mentioned is one of our co-founders, he really is kind of the gear guy. So he'll do product reviews, just backpacking 101. We also have a bikepacking 101, which is written up by our partners in Australia.
Nice.
Who have a lot of bikepacking guides. And yeah, we try to be completely independent. Like we don't take freebies from anybody. And I don't know, so Paul got really interested in Sawyer filters.
Oh,
and he has 4 or 5 blogs on Sawyer filters, like all the different Sawyer filters. So I don't know, it's just a way to get our name out there, people the most common questions that maybe will come up in a search, and they'll learn some more about bikepacking or backpacking or rafting.
What's Paul's favorite Sawyer filter?
Oh, he definitely is it's just the original,
the squeeze.
Yeah, the squeeze.
Okay.
So he tried the mini. He wasn't really a fan of the mini, and then there was the other one they came out with more recently, but he just likes the squeeze.
Okay. That's fair.
Yeah,
we stick to the squeeze as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You said rafting. You guys have rafting now?
We do.
Oh,
We have
that's exciting.
Almost 30 whitewater rafting guides now, because we partner with this company called gorafting.com.
Okay.
And in fact, on Friday, we just got back from a trip. Our company went down to Costa Rica to meet the Go Rafting crew, because they have the Pequari River down there. They have a lodge on that river, and they run an outfitter down there.
Okay.
But most of our guides with them are in the United States, mostly in the West.
Okay.
That's
How exciting.
That's a business trip I wouldn't mind going on.
Right?
I know. It was pretty cool. So it was a great way for us we're a totally remote company. So it was a really good way for us to get together and spend a week together.
Okay.
Oh, wow.
Oh, I love that.
I know. I'm like feeling all the warm fuzzies for you guys. That's awesome.
Wow. What a perfect transition to our next question. So you've made some tweaks and a few updates to the app over the last few years, and even quite recently, one of those more recent ones being the subscription. Instead of just buying each map, you can do a subscription. Do you want to talk about those updates, possibly?
Sure. So 2021 was a really big year for us. We brought Kyle on in 2020, he's now our chief technology officer. But so we created our web app completely from scratch. So which is app.faroutguides.com. So it's basically just the app but on a browser. And we rebranded in 2021, and we also introduced subscription. And we introduced subscription because people just wanted access to everything, because our first model is, you download it, it's free, and then if you want a guide, you buy it and you have it for life. Mm-hmm. So you have it for life, and all the updates to the data and updates to the app. But if you want access to everything, you can now buy either a monthly, a 6-month, or a 1-year subscription. And if you get that 1-year subscription, then you get what we call points, 100 points, which is basically a $100 credit to permanently buy $100 worth of guides.
Whoa, that's a good deal.
Wow.
We think it is.
I think it is. Yeah.
I mean, depending on the guide, that's anywhere between like 4 to 7 different guides right there.
Dude.
Right.
Okay.
This is funny. I feel like, Alice, you'll appreciate this, but like buying the FarOut apps is one of Wesley's guilty pleasures. And so whenever, like, if there's a trail we're looking to do, coming up in the horizon or whatever, he'll be like, "Can we get this? Because it's not official that we're actually hiking it until we get the FarOut app."
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. And we were planning a
That's
short
funny.
trip over into Calgary area, British Columbia. Is it British Columbia?
I think so.
Calgary, Canada. Somewhere over there. And I was like, babe, this is like, we have to get the Great Divide Trail app, like the map on FarOut now, because you never know. We might be hiking around the Great Divide Trail.
It's like, "Can I get it now?" I'll be like,
Yeah.
"Wait until the next paycheck and then we can get it." Yeah, because we're doing the AZT this winter,
Yeah.
actually.
Oh, great.
Yeah,
Nice.
yeah, we're super stoked. But definitely it was so cute because I finally told my job, "Hey, we want to do this. I just want to check in if it's cool if I leave for 6 to 7 weeks." And they were very supportive. They're even supporting us, like giving extra PTO for us to do it. It's really amazing.
Yeah.
But I looked at him when I got home and I was like, "Buy that AZT app, babe. Let's go."
Let's do it.
Yeah.
They're actually one of our favorite partners. They're a really great organization.
We've heard. We're
Yeah.
really excited.
Seems like a great community over there.
Yeah. Oh, here comes our
Oh,
dog.
here's
There
Loba.
she is.
You can see her.
Hello.
Hi.
All right. Hey Loba, if you're gonna stay with us, you gotta be quiet, okay? All right, or we're gonna put you in the living room. Okay.
Yeah.
She's crazy. Beautifully crazy, but crazy.
Bless.
She's a husky, so there you go. Okay. Will hikers ever be able to add living waypoints to that others can see, or do they all need to be vetted first for safety reasons and thus the lack of such waypoints? We were curious because I know that that's something we've talked about on the PCT as well.
Yeah, so right now you can add your own live waypoints. They're called
Yeah.
custom waypoints.
Mm-hmm.
And the defining feature of FarOut is that our data that you see on the map is not crowdsourced. So it's all vetted data, and we actually have a new feature. You're asking about new features. Kyle put this together so that you can now report waypoints, including a waypoint that you created and suggest it to be put in the app.
Okay.
Oh, that's
Okay.
exciting. Okay. Because there was like on the PCT, there was this epic campsite, I think. And one of our buddies was like, "Yeah, I wish I could have told you guys about it because we didn't have service. We didn't have Garmin." So we were like, "Oh, can you create a waypoint?" And then that like gets, so that's really cool to have. That's a cool
Yeah.
tool.
Yeah, we were doing sections of the Colorado Trail before I hiked it, and I'm like, man, this would be a really great spot to pitch a tent. And I was making those personal waypoints. So I'm like, wow, I wish I could share this with other people too. Or maybe I just want to keep it a secret.
Yeah, that's true too.
So you're actually talking about a really tricky area that we get into with tent sites because
Yeah.
under L&T principles, you don't want to expand a tent site. And once we publish something, it tends
Oh.
to get bigger. The tent site will get bigger and bigger.
Yeah.
And so, like for the Colorado Trail, you may have noticed we do not publish tenting sites,
Yeah.
and that's at the request of the Colorado Trail Foundation for L&T purposes.
Okay.
Yeah.
And you'll encounter the same thing with our Arizona Trail app.
Okay. I think it was similar for the Tour
Okay.
de Mont Blanc as well.
Yep,
Because
that's right.
because it's frowned upon to tent camp.
Oh, this makes way more sense now. Thank you for explaining
Okay.
that.
Okay.
Okay, so it's like a whole thing with L&T, which we did just have L&T on some of our interview episodes, but
Yeah.
because I know Wesley's I am also passionate about Leave No Trace, but he is super uber passionate about it. So that's really helpful to know that
Yeah.
this is a Leave No Trace principle. That makes so much more sense now.
Do you think maybe there would be some benefit in listing larger areas that could fit multiple people and just having those on the map so people aren't more spread out and creating new paths?
Yeah, so that's actually a big part of our Ice Age Trail app. We have an icon for dispersed camping,
Okay.
which is
Oh.
so we'll just kind of put it kind of in the middle of it. And we work with, so basically if any agency writes to us and say, hey, can we work with your campsites, we'll do it. So we've worked with the Inyo National Forest, we're working with the John Muir Trail Conservancy. We work with the PCTA up in Oregon to put certain sites with a no camping symbol and to have alternate sites in an area to move them more
Okay.
off trail or more L&T compliant sites.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay. Um, man, it just hit me, Alice. I should have said this at the beginning when we were introducing FarOut, but I'm so thankful for your app for the PCT, because before we did the PCT, I took that app and for 6 months I created a spreadsheet and I used the app and dissected our entire hike.
Wow.
Day to day to day, and mileage and water
Uh huh.
sources and campsites and towns and what
Yep.
was in towns and what could we have available.
That's
And
cool.
yeah, so thanks for that, all of you. Because I mean, honestly, we actually finished the trail almost within days of what I predicted.
That's great. How
Yeah.
long did it take you?
It took us almost 6 months. We did like really appreciate the beginning part and took our time.
181 days.
181 days is exactly what it took us, and that's including zeros too. Yeah, but no, we enjoyed the PCT. It was life changing.
We took way more zeros than she wanted to.
Based off
Because
my budgeted plan, I was like, we're not
Yeah.
going to make it because
Well,
of the fires. But
yeah, well, she's a producer in film, and I like to go play in the woods. So we have two kind of different personalities.
my brain structure is like, okay, we didn't hit our mileage today, so how are we going to
Right.
make up for it
Yeah.
tomorrow? And then he's like, can we just enjoy it and just hike?
Yeah.
Now when we do trails, I'm really looking for the AZT. I'm not going to do that. I'm just going to like use the app every day and be like, okay, when's our next water source tomorrow? Or, hey, let's plan a
That
couple
one has
days.
really better comments.
I've heard.
So,
Okay.
and we have a new feature now where it's this is our foray into AI. It's really more machine learning than AI, but it reads the comments from the last 2 weeks and then it puts this little water meter on there, and so you can just at a glance
I've
see like
seen
what the
that.
water situation is.
That's amazing. That's going to be so helpful for people on the trail. That's going to be so
Yeah, this will be
helpful.
it'll be our first full season with it
Wow.
out. So we're interested to see how people like it.
The feedback, yeah, I'm sure.
Yeah.
I mean, everyone. I don't see how someone wouldn't like to know where the water
Oh,
levels
Yeah.
are.
me, someone will complain.
Oh yeah.
I'm sure. It's
Yeah.
the world we live in. Everybody's got to find something wrong with something, and yeah.
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 To anyone listening, Far Out is a great map to use, great guide to use. But some of the things, take it with a grain of salt. Like the comments, take them as you label things, Alice. Like things are listed as sometimes streams or trickles, etc. But if you're, say, in the Sierras in the midst of the thaw, that stream is going to be a little bit bigger. So it might look more like a big creek or even a river, depending. So just keep an eye on the comments, because that's going to be from people who are experiencing these areas in like real time. And things change, you know? I mean, a map is a map. Maps are stagnant, and, nature is temporal and it changes over time. So
I also want to say, don't blame FarOut for the
exactly.
moments when you're the first one in there and no one has yet experienced the crazy thaw like that happened to
Yeah.
us, where no one had commented on this one specific spot since last year.
Bishop Pass.
And it was that, well, Bishop Pass, but we went through the thaw of the Sierras in May though, so it's like it didn't really have a thaw. It was weird. It was like 8 feet of snow and it was all melting because it was so hot. And so I just remember this one spot. It was Mono Creek, and
Oh,
by the Silver Pass, and
Mhm.
no one had commented on it yet. And because we were some of the first hikers that went through, and I remember them saying the last summer, they're like, "Oh, it's just like a little trickle, barely anything there." And when we went through, it was a waterfall. I was like, "This
oh
is
my
not a
gosh.
trickle."
Yeah, base camp has
Yeah.
some serious PTSD from water crossings.
Yeah,
in the
we like it
Sierras.
was a little scary, to cross in the thaw. It was definitely you know, had to really take some deep breaths and call my
Yeah, that is
therapist.
scary.
Yeah. But no, we made it through alive. So
It's funny she just said her therapist when her therapist was her sister.
she was my
Yeah.
therapist. I would call her at towns and be like, "You don't know what happened. We almost died, almost drowned."
Okay.
You got a
Let's
question?
see. Yeah, we got some questions here. So this is from someone who hiked the CDT last year, so 2023. They wanted to know why the map is outdated. and if you would hire them to help you update the map. But yeah, so I guess this question, how do you handle maps that are like a little buggy sometimes or that need to be updated? Like once you've got an established map in FarOut.
Yeah, so this is another thing that is really tough for these very long trails. So the
Yeah.
CDT is very long. It's administered by dozens of agencies, and maybe one agency will change the trail, and even the CDTC doesn't know about it. So we will get information in from the CDTC, but also directly sometimes from the Forest Service units. It's time to update it. And also, if people are recording their tracks while they're using the app, we get those tracks and we can look at them as well. So retrospectively, we can update the track, but I actually believe that we have one of the best maps of the CDT out there. And
Yeah.
but also, I feel so much sympathy and empathy for when you're out
Mhm.
there and our app is wrong. So I understand why people get upset.
Yeah.
But just so people know, we're putting out there the best information that we have available to us.
For sure. I feel like the CDT would be probably one of the most challenging just because
It
it's
is.
such a people do it, but there's some of those sections aren't even connected. You have to take a road to even get to the next like
It's
trail.
such a dynamic, alive trail right now. It is not a set trail like the AT or PCT. So
Yeah.
that one is a tough one, and I totally understand the frustration people have with a guide on that. So I
Yeah.
apologize. And that's a good one where you want to have lay maps, you want to have R maps, you want to have Gaia. So you just want to have a variety of maps. And I think most people who do the CDT probably do carry all three of those.
Okay.
Mm.
So do you suggest Gaia
Yeah,
over
Gaia's
Onyx?
awesome. I'm not really that familiar with Onyx backcountry.
Okay.
Um,
They're pretty similar, but Gaia has more detail.
Yeah. So I mean, if you're off doing something that's not a totally set trail, either Onyx or Gaia are really great backups to have there on your phone downloaded, ready to
Yeah.
Yeah.
go.
That's helpful for sure. And I think, well, and a lot of people are doing the CDT right now because I guess it's just the Triple Crown feel, like that whole thing and the hype. And it's like, oh, I've done the AT, I've done the PCT. Now it's time to do the CDT kind of feeling.
Yeah.
And so I do feel like it's becoming really populated all of a
Yeah.
sudden. And it's, it's just interesting. I don't know if people have the understanding that the CDT is not like the PCT or the AT. Like,
Right.
I don't know if they
Yeah.
realize, oh, this trail hasn't yet been fully connected. And so I have to take a road for 30 miles to just get to the next section.
I was just going to say, same thing with the Pacific Northwest Trail. You have to be really prepared to do that one as well.
Yeah.
PNT.
Yeah. One of our friends who's hiking the CDT right now, she's like, ask why I'm like supposed to be at Pie Town right now, but it says I'm still 10 miles away. And I'm like, well, yeah, it's a digital map, and sometimes there are, what's the word I'm looking for? Incontinuities sometimes. And I mean,
Inconsistencies.
yeah, I mean, and we experienced that on the TMB. I think maybe it had the starting point somewhere different than Les Ouches, which is supposed to be like the starting point, but the mileage was right. You just got to kind of adjust a little bit.
Well, I think also people are so used to the PCT and AT being so perfect
Yeah, yep,
on the
yep.
maps, like so perfect that I think
Right. Because
everybody
they
has
don't
this.
change.
Right. So
Yeah.
I'm wondering if it's like this expectation of like, well, FarOut has done such a great job with these certain trails. And so they're supposed to do a great job with this trail, but they don't realize or maybe don't think about, how it is an ever changing trail.
I mean, it's a hell of a lot better than looking at a paper map where you don't have a little blinking icon for
Or a
where you are on
compass.
it.
We're so like I did say this to Wesley. What was it? I was like, well, if you think about it, we're in this first world problems kind of society where comfort and
Yeah.
accessibility is so big, and we don't know what it feels like to have a paper map and a compass. We don't know because not we didn't fully grow up with phones. Like we definitely, phones came into our world after we were already
Yeah.
like 18, but it definitely has now played a part in through hiking and exploring and GPS
Yeah.
and I'm like, I don't know what I would do without my phone. I'd probably get lost on a trail.
Yeah, I think back to the Sierra stretch on the PCT, which even to this day is still poorly marked at best. And I'm like, would we have made it through as quickly as we did
without FarOut?
without
Yeah,
FarOut? Like
probably
using
not.
a paper map?
We would have been like, wait, are we in the right trail?
Because I mean, you're in like a, I don't know, a 10-mile long valley, and there are trails all over the place that are flooded out and snow covered. Like, what do you do without a PCT sign? Like, I'm lost in the sauce.
Oh yeah, because we did that in the snow, so we couldn't find a trail.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, yeah,
So you just have to follow people's footprints, but you're the
yeah,
first ones going through.
yeah,
Exactly. We're like,
exactly.
wait, are their boot prints the right boot prints?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
Can't trust it.
experienced that on the JMT Pass, the John Muir Trail Pass, where it's
Okay.
just boot tracks everywhere.
It's mass chaos.
Yeah.
I guess it's kind of, you did already answer this, but I'm curious now because we had someone ask, and now you can expand on it more. But do you do anything to collect data from hikers to make the trail more accurate?
Yes, we do. So, like I mentioned, when people are using the app to record their tracks, you can opt out of using it if of looking at tracks if you like for privacy reasons. But yeah, we do see those tracks, and if we have our red line going to the right, and we see that we got 20 hikers actually going to the left, then we can either check in with the organization or just and say, hey, is this what we should update it to, or just like it's very clear that that's what we need to update it to. So we'll do that at the end of the season, which has been a big help for us with making the CDT more accurate, especially places where we write. We have a really great relationship with them. We write back and forth a lot. Where say, hey, should we update this?
Cool.
Yeah, it's interesting too. Going back to the CDT, we want to do it at some point, so that's probably why we always talk about it. But
Yeah.
the Argentine Pass, that's an interesting one. I feel like that, we live really close by the Argentine Pass area, and it's a gorgeous section, but a lot of people do the alternate around it because they're really nervous about the snow, avalanches, whatnot, the danger of that section. But have you seen more people in your data go do the alternate route over the pass?
Yeah, like almost no one does the official CDT through there.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, we're red liners. We always stick to the red lines as
We
best
will.
we can.
Yeah.
We're going to as best we can.
Yeah.
On the CDT, there's like a lot of places where no one or hardly anyone does the official route.
Like the Gila
The
Gila
Gila.
River.
Yeah.
We've
Yeah,
been a
most
lot of
people
our
do the alternate.
a lot of our tramley from the PCTs doing the CDT right now, and they're talking about the Gila River and how they did the alternate, I guess.
Yeah, some alternates, and you cross the Gila like 100 times or
How
something crazy.
That one's a kind of choose your adventure, so we just pick like an average of what people actually hike.
That's
Okay.
hilarious. Just choose your
Yeah.
adventure. I feel like that's what the
I love
CDT
that.
should be called on the app. Choose your adventure.
That's
We have
amazing
drawn
to
the
me.
line though with there's like this 500-mile shortcut you can take through Montana, and we have not
No.
put that in there. So we've drawn the line there.
Okay.
I think that's commendable though, because if you're gonna do the trail, like don't cut out 500 miles then, because it's not the real official CDT to me.
Yeah.
That's how I feel about that.
Yeah, we frowned upon yellow blazers on the PCT. And we're purists as best we can be. On the PCT, though, whenever we did it, the Lion's Head closure had that stretch of trail for like 20, 30 miles closed.
Yeah, but everybody had to skip around like 117. We did not. We actually did the road. We
Which-
didn't want to
Wow.
break our footpath.
Not recommended.
That's
It wasn't
great.
super safe, but
Yeah, it was a
Well,
little.
hats off to you.
Thank
Yeah.
you. It was like, we don't want to break our footpath, and we don't think we'll come back and do this for a long time. And
Yeah.
we want to know that we continued on. And, we were lucky enough that we didn't break our footpath on the PCT, which was very rare for especially 22 or now, I feel like. But
yeah, but I thought it was super cool because in 22, when we were finishing around September, the fires started to blow up in Washington, and it closed the northern terminus. And we had just finished, and all of a sudden we start seeing all these alternates popping up in the FarOut app, and I'm like, whoa! Like they jumped on this quick.
yeah, thank you. By the
Yeah.
way, we had a lot of friends
Yeah.
get to feel
Oh,
the
good.
finish, because they saw those alternates pop up and they did it, so.
That
Yeah.
was really all. I mean, that's thanks to the PCTA. They're really on top of publishing alternates, and they told us, like if you see anything on there, you could put it in the app. So at that point, we were actually checking it daily and putting it in there because it was changing so fast.
Yeah.
Yeah. We finished on September 2nd of 22,
Oh,
and which is
Yeah.
the day they shut the trail down. The
Yeah.
rangers
oh my
actually.
gosh.
Yeah, it was the craziest. Like, we have to write a book about this or something. Okay. Last question.
We have one last question. This is from, so the first two questions, let's give a little bit of credit. The first question was from Toey. The second
Toey.
question was from
Deuces. These are our friends. So.
Yeah. And this third question is from Kappa.
Kappa.
He is a UK hiker. And apparently there's this proposed hike called Lejog, or Lejog. So Kappa's question is, he's actually got two here, but the first one, as a Brit, I can see on FarOut that they've started to pick up more trails from across the pond. So in the UK, over in Europe, etc. Will they be looking into linking those trails up for Lejog, which is pushing to be the UK's long trail, lands into John O'Groats? I don't know.
Oh, yeah. And I've heard it called, oh gosh, it's called something else too. Yes, we have thought about that. It's really, that's another that's a choose your adventure where you start down on the southwest coast and you end up way up north in Scotland.
Okay.
We do not have current plans for that, but that would be really cool if we could connect it end to end.
Well, I'm sure Kappa would help you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We have a really great partner over there called Trailblazer, which if you're ever hiking in the UK, everyone's carrying their little Trailblazer guide. They have a red spine, and they were one of our first partners. So we published their guides.
I love that. Okay. Yeah, the UK up in Scotland, there's a trail called the Cape Wrath Trail. And I always thought that sounded kind of intimidating, Wrath.
Okay, so we actually had a guy, his name is Fozzy. He's been around a while.
Yeah, Keith Foskett.
You know Fozzy?
Oh my gosh, we love his book. Yes.
His books. Yes. We've listened to several of them.
Yeah, The Last Englishman.
Yeah.
Well, when I hiked he's worked with us a long time. When I went over and hiked the Cotswold Way, he walked with me the first day. He's a hoot. Oh. But he hiked Cape Wrath, and I think it was the hardest hike he ever did, and he's pretty hardcore.
I've heard his book about it.
Yeah. We ended up not publishing it because it was just there's like too many choices you can make. So
yeah.
Okay.
His book is complaining about midges, probably a third of the book.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, that's so cool that you know him. We definitely love his writings and his stories. They're so beautiful.
And the fact that he has struggled with depression and continued to like push through it and continue hiking, and how it's helped him on his journey. Yeah, that's kind of huge. Here's the last half of the question from Kappa. You want me to do it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm like, where did you pick off?
The second half of Kappa's question. Also similarly, with things like the Hexatrek, which I've also never heard of. Further question is, are there rules to what you'd allow to establish a trail map of? Do you have to wait like till the trail is completely legally recognized in those countries to make a map of it? Or can you just put the map in FarOut?
Right. So we've actually talked to the Hexatrek people. It's this really neat route. I think it goes mostly through France.
Okay.
But they created their own app, and they just wanted to stick with that. It's kind of tough for the GR routes in Europe because, again, we like to work with an organization, and also we don't speak French. So, if anyone listening to this knows of a good partner we could work with in Europe, we would really like to add those routes, but it's just kind of tough for us being in the United States to do it.
Yeah.
Well, we might know someone because we've got so many friends that are European.
I feel like Build-A-Bear would be perfect.
Build-A-Bear might be someone to talk to. Yeah.
The Grand Randonnée hikes.
He knows all the hikes in Europe, but he knows. Yeah, he's connected he's from Belgium, but we might be able to pull someone in.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We have quite a few routes in Eastern Europe where we work with organizations, but those more older established routes, we don't really have many of those.
The GRs, yeah.
Like the GR20 in Corsica,
we're obsessed.
That's an older one.
Yeah.
We get a lot of requests for that.
Yeah, we did attempt that, and we'll go back and finish, but yeah, it's a hard one.
Yeah.
I think Fozzy did that one.
I'm sure.
I bet.
We attempted it right after the PCT or right after the TMB.
I was just mentally done. I was done.
I don't know if anyone's ever told you this before, but like as you're starting it, probably like within 10 miles on a giant rock, you see Bon
Bon
Kohaj written on the rock. And you're like, what the heck
What
is that
is
there
there?
for? And
Well,
then you
sure
immediately
enough.
start bouldering and you're like, oh, that's why.
Not even bouldering. You are rock climbing. Like it's not just bouldering. It is for sure some straight up, and me being short armed and short legs, don't take a big pack with you person.
Yeah.
I was like, I'm gonna fall over. I know it. And I was like, we're done for now. Let's come back when we can take lighter packs.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah.
That was a struggle.
Yeah, no. That would be a good one to have on FarOut for sure. I think I would.
Yeah.
I felt a little, what's the word? Like if you don't have your blanket, your security blanket. I felt like because we didn't have the FarOut app, I felt like I didn't have my security blanket.
Oh.
Yeah. Yeah.
But yeah.
Well, there's actually a company called Max Adventure that they do guided trips or it's kind of more like you pay them or like they set up your lodging for you and then you just hike it yourself. And they have their own app. So they have a lot of those European routes in their app.
Okay.
Okay, that's good to know.
They're a neat
Cool.
company.
Yeah. Well, I guess that's all we've got. I guess the
Oh,
last question
last
is,
question.
do you have anything that you would like to add or say to hikers listening, the hiking community?
Yeah, so we also like to call it the hiking hopeful community. So those folks who aren't professional thru-hikers or like long distance backpackers, but just, maybe weekend warriors and folks who would love to get out and do something longer. Is there any advice or anything you want to give to anyone who might be listening to the podcast?
Sure. I think it's when I did the PCT, I had never done a long distance hike before. And it's just a take it day by day thing. And, if you like it, you like it. If you don't, you don't. But if you just go out and try it, and especially on these more popular trails, there'll be a community around you to help you. And I mean, I can't help but change your life. And I think most likely in a good way to just
For
try it.
for sure, for sure. And you come out with the second name. So that's kind of cool as
Yeah.
well. Yeah, your alter ego. You can be anyone that you want to out there.
And the cool thing is like no one really cares what you do on the outside world. It's just who you are on the trail.
Yeah, we had a really good buddy. His name is Crush, and he's been blowing through some trails in the last couple years. But he calls real life or the normal world the cotton world. And, we really want to interview him and understand his rationale behind that name, but we interpret it as, everyone's wearing cotton back at home. It's soft and cushioned and more comfortable. And out here and on the trail, like this is the real world, at least to those people who do long distance hikes like this, because I feel like some part of you just resonates strongly with nature when you're immersed in it for 3, 4, 5, 6 months. And we're so out of tune with that living in modern society in our cities and suburbs.
Yeah, it always kind of bugged me when people would refer to off the trail world as the real world.
No.
Because yeah.
Which reality is the real one here?
Yeah.
I think you're just so much more clear minded out on the trail, like you see things and you feel so clean. I don't know. I felt so clean internally.
Yeah.
Like I just understood more and had more empathy, more understanding, more in tune with nature, environment, people. I mean, yeah, sure, we were hurting every day, right? But internally, it just felt so clean.
Yeah, and it gives you a different perspective because coming from Georgia, I grew up in Augusta, Georgia. People are like, "Oh, you're going camping? Like, don't let the bears eat you, or don't let the wolves get you." And wildlife does not want to screw with you 99.5% of the time. It wants to avoid you, and that kind of makes you realize, that you're just another part of the ecosystem that you're walking through. And I mean, nature isn't out there to kill you. It's more dangerous. It was more dangerous when we did our road walk reroute around Oregon than when we hiked the entire trail. So,
Oh, sure. Yeah.
Yeah. But
One thing I loved too was that it was always, I knew exactly where the moon was and what phase it was in.
that's
And
cool.
I don't necessarily know that now, but I really enjoyed that when we were out hiking.
I love that so
Yeah.
much. I love that. Oh man, that's great.
Yeah, water never tastes sweeter than whenever you're doing a long hike.
Or food.
Yeah, or food, or the beer, alcoholic or non.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, Alice, thank you so much. Really appreciate you taking the time to talk to us. It's just been such a wonderful, heartwarming pleasure to get to know you and more about FarOut that I didn't know. So thank you.
And it's so nice to put
Yeah.
a face to the app instead of it just being like this app out in like the webs, the nether, like updating itself. So it's good to see you and the team, but just by going on your website, who's working behind the scenes on it.
Thanks. Yeah, and good luck to you all too. I've listened to some of your other episodes, and it's the same thing where I've really enjoyed getting to hear behind the scenes. I listened to some of your other interviews with some companies, and that was pretty cool.
Well, thank you so much.
Thank you.
What she won't tell you is that I'm super aggravated every single time at my audio. So hopefully this recording is going to sound better.
I keep telling him I don't think it's bad, but
I didn't notice.
Thank you.
I'm
like,
so anal
babe,
about it.
I'm like, babe, I just really think no one's thinking about it. But you know what? If it makes your heart happy, then
It does.
fix
it
it.
does.
But anyway, no, we keep fine tuning our audio continually because this is all new, the setup, and
Right.
so it's always a work in progress.
Yeah. But thanks for
Yeah.
taking almost 2 hours out of your Sunday to speak
Thank
to us.
you.
We really
Yeah.
appreciate it.
My pleasure. And thanks for inviting me.
Yeah, for sure.
Absolutely. Well,
All right.
I mean, I guess that's it. Do you want to do the outro right now, or you want to save it?
Let's do the outro because Alice knows a
quickly.
little bit about this.
Okay. Well, and you can join us at the very end if you know our tagline. But yeah, we just want to say thanks everyone for listening. We really appreciate all of your support, all your love. If you want to send us a question, if you want to send us any thoughts, any new topics we want to talk about, please email us at yetiwalksintobasecamp@gmail.com, or you can DM us on our socials. We got Yeti Walks Into Basecamp Instagram. Please follow us if you'd like to, or you can follow us on the ginger_and_the joy, where you can find all of our adventures with the Loba show, because she's kind of taken over our Instagram, which has been great.
Yeah, this is her world and we just live in it right now.
Yeah. But yeah, so follow along on our journey, our adventures, and our podcast.
Yep. And a long rounding shout out to The Fire Once Lost for our intro and our outro track.
Thank you.
The name of that track is the only instrumental I believe they have right now published. It's called Appalachian Trail, which we think suits the vibe of our podcast so well. So thanks again, Fire Once Lost. We have links to their socials and their Spotify channel in the show notes. You won't be able to access the show notes when you're out in the backcountry, but you might come across some other hikers. And usually whenever you interact with other folks, whenever you wrap up that conversation, do you know what they say to you?
What?
Happy trails.
You want to do that again? Did you want to do that with us, or?
Yeah, you should.
Am I supposed to stay with you?
No.
No,
I was
you
going to ask,
can.
do you want to do it with us? Because we've never had
Sure.
anyone do it with
Yeah.
us, but
Okay.
he's been doing all these funny, like, new things to add at the end.
Whenever we do like a 2-second pause, that's when we're about to say happy trails.
I can cue you.
Yeah, and do you know what happens whenever you come across other hikers on trails in the backcountry? Yeah, I mean, usually you talk to them and say hi, etc., but whenever you wrap up that conversation,
What do you say?
happy.
Oh no, this is bad.
No! But whenever you wrap up that conversation, you know what they're going to tell you, right?
Happy trails.
Trails.
Good enough.
Wait, can we do the, as we like to say in the hiking community? It's just a better, like, throw into this, like a pitch.
Okay.
Is that okay?
You just want to say, as we like to say in the hiking?
Yeah.
Okay.
And as we like to say in the hiking community,
Happy
trails.